He frees you from fear of everything. If you would just fear him, Yahweh, you would not be afraid again. That's the fear of Yahweh teaching. Fear Yahweh and never be afraid of anything again. So he came to set you free from fear, from being a slave to fear. So many of you, your lives are as jacked up as they are because you're too afraid of this, that, or the other thing, so you don't respond like you should. You don't handle things like you should. You don't speak up when you should because you're too afraid. You don't try something when you should. There are things that you're not doing or things that you are doing all out of fear. So you're enslaved because now your choices become limited, which like a slave would be limited in their choices and their options because fear limits those choices and options. Because out of fear, you've taken a whole bunch of other options out of the way because I'm too afraid. Well, if I do that, what's gonna go wrong? If I do that, what's gonna go wrong? I'm reading a book right now, and for entertainment purposes, but I'm reading a book right now, the main character, I'm ready to strangle him. Because he's got some really important things to decide on. He won't because he's so afraid he's gonna make the wrong decision. And I'm like, but not making a decision is the wrong decision. But a lot of you have that fear. A lot of you have that fear. Fear, what if I make the wrong decision? So you do nothing. Okay, you do nothing. This is a problem, okay? But that person's enslaved to the fear. Let's not be afraid. Okay, that's your reset number 5. This is important. I knew I was gonna emphasize this today. He wants you to be set free. How will you set free? John 8. He says, you shall know, have a knowledge, a relationship with the truth about everything. The truth in whatever situation you're in, and that knowledge of truth will set you free, okay? Okay, so it's not just saying you'll know the truth and Yeshua just, like he's gonna wave his hand and set you free. The truth about, well, if I try that and it goes wrong, well, I could probably fix that. That's a truth. That'll set you free from being afraid to try. The truth is that if you try and fail, you learn something, which is good. That's the only way to succeed anyway, is to make some mistakes and learn from them. That's a truth. If you would embrace that, you wouldn't be afraid. There's too much fear. It's ruining your life. It's ruining everything in your life. Anything in your life that's ruined, it's probably fear. When people counsel with me, first thing I'm doing is trying to dig underneath whatever they're going through to find the fear that's driving it. There's a fear almost always driving everything that goes bad, okay? That doesn't mean things, if you're not afraid, won't go wrong, but then they're always handled in some way. It's the fear that turns things to where it goes bad. Something not working doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. Do you understand that? Something not working doesn't mean it was bad. However, you're being afraid, and so you didn't do, and then you made all kinds of decisions out of fear. That's when things go bad. And they're not fixable because you're too afraid, okay? If you're ever gonna succeed, I teach this in the Level Up class. The pattern for success is fail, fail, succeed, succeed, fail, succeed, fail, succeed. There's like half of it or more is failures. But those failures are not bad. That's how you eventually succeed. Because you learn from what didn't work. And so you make an adjustment. But when you're too afraid to try, or whatever it is, then things go bad. They start to spiral badly, all right? We need to be set free. Yeshua delivers you from the fear.